Fly tying to me is really a means to an end, taking what we do here at the vise and then producing that on the stream. The Cumberland River beetle, roughly based on the humpy, is a pattern that we've found to be very successful time and time again, and I'm going to show you how to tie that now. Okay, so firstly we're going to attach some thread, red in this case, and very fine. This is actually 14/0 thread. And I'm going to continue the thread all the way to the bend. It just puts a little bit of a tag on it, so come back to the center point. Now for a tail, we're using some Texas whitetail, similar to what is used in the raw wolf, and I have a little bunch of it here, and I'm going to tie that in. Now I want the tail to be roughly the length of the shank of the hook. I'm going to put that over with a pinch and hold onto it because it will tend to want to roll, and I'll spiral that back towards the bend, and that's okay. So we're then going to cut those off as such, and run our thread forward and back. Okay, now I'm going to tie in again with a pinch some red floss, followed by some strung peacock herl. Now I like to sort of cut this back a fair bit, and I'm going to tie that in on top, and I'm going to spiral that back again above the barb of the hook and forward. And finally I'm going to tie in a piece of pre-prepared foam. Now this foam is roughly 1 mil thick, but will squash down as you will see. So I will position that on top of the hook and then spiral the thread back, pulling down. I don't want to break the thread, and we'll continue forward and go back again above the barb of the hook and then forward. Okay, now at this point I'm going to wrap these together and then spiral them forward as such. And what that does, it gives some segmentation to the underbody. Catch that with the thread and tie off. Okay, now I can cut that away as waste. Now I'm going to fold the foam forward as such, stretching it a little bit and pinching it with my fingers, and again tying it down using quite a few wraps because I don't want that to fall off. Now again, stretch this slightly and cut it off, and that gives us our beetle cover there as such. Right, the last thing to do is to tie in a hackle. Now our hackle we want to be roughly the shank of the hook, which most hackles are, and I'll strip a little bit of that back and catch it, tie it in securely, cut off the waist. Okay, at this point what I like to do is to add a little bit of head cement to where I'm going to tie in the hackle. Now I want this to be buoyant, so I'm going to try and get 5 wraps on here, 3, and what it will tend to want to do is fall off the front of it. That's 5. I'm going to catch that with my tying silk, tying thread, and again give it quite a few wraps here. Cut it off like so. Now, half-hitch tool, which I think is a great little thing, will allow us to push these hackles back and hopefully expose the eye, because this is a very, very short shanked hook. Pinch that a little bit, another one, and another one, and that will do. Cut him off. Now, just to make sure the eye is clear, I'm going to put some wire in there. I'm going to tilt the fly back. I'm going to add some head cement into here. Let that soak in. By having the piece of wire in there, it stops my eye from being blocked, which is nothing more frustrating. Okay, just make sure that's free, which it is, and she's almost done. Finally, what I like to do is I like to cut away the bottom half of the hackle, as such, so that it sits in the film. Couple little bits there. Okay, so lastly I'll just test the eye again. That's nice and free. And there we have the Cumberland River Beetle. Yes.